Hi everybody. I wanted to show this all to you. You see this thing right here, the Mic Lock microphone blocker. It says a 5-pack signal blocking device. Um that's for basically blocking out the audio portion of the phone to where, you would, let's say you would talk to somebody on the phone, and the audio of where your voice is going to, it's going into that portion of the phone, right? This thing right there will block it. But let me tell you something. There are you don't have to spend $25 for something like that, for a pack of that. What you can do, because I know a lot of people are tight on money. Um, if you got like a pair of broken headphones, right? And those headphones had mic capabilities. Now, what you can do is basically snip the cord off, but there's the metal piece, and then there's a bulky like plastic piece that usually hangs on to that. You want both of those, and you want to at least leave a little bit of cord on that. Okay, so that basically disrupts the functionality from where it would normally go to, and basically channels it off to anywhere. But as you know, it's not going to be able to go to the device it was initially intended to, but it still blocks out the functionality so that they basically cannot record your voice or anything like that. Now, as you all know, the other method as line of defense is to basically cover up your camera lenses on your phones with tape. That's the other defense, and there's a good reason as to why I'm mentioning this. I'm gonna have two links in this video. Now, one of them is going to be a link to Jeff Censor's channel, and it's going to basically do the rundown on a few of the events that has happened during this month, and as well as the couple of months before, and especially the stuff that just as well as just happened not too long ago. Some of this can be going into last year as well, but you got to remember everything that happens is all interconnected. A lot of these events, and remember, the system that's trying to give you a solution is the same system that is basically committing the tyranny that's going on. So they create tyranny in order to basically push their solution, and their solution is their agenda. Now then, there is another method for a line of defense, and it's dealing with the GPS. But you would have to know exactly what you're doing when you do this. Um, the only way to officially prevent the tracking is basically this: you gotta learn how to do a root uninstallation of your device. When it comes, this involves both the system apps and the regular apps. Anything GPS related, anything Google related, anything like that, it's gotta go, because all of that technology is just beast technology that's used for basically nothing more than tracking and tracing. That's what it is. So basically, you would be looking for apps that you don't use, for one, because they do put apps that you don't use. Now, if you were to look under your system apps, I bet you'll find this in just about every phone. Even if you have Facebook uninstalled, right? You could basically turn your phone off and on after that, and you don't even have to do that. Like, you can uninstall Facebook, and if you check your system apps, Facebook is still there, and it usually has either one or two system applications permanently installed on your device. The only way to get rid of that is a root and uninstallation. It's quite simple. All you need is no more than just a computer and your device and the cord that you would use to connect it. And basically, there's plenty of how-to videos on YouTube for you to check out on how to do that. Now, I'm saying this also because, well, even without them using these drones to hit you with these direct energy attacks, to basically use your phone as a calibration device to track exactly where to shoot these effects, these high levels of radiation to. Um, just being near a phone is already bad enough. I mean, this thing's practically giving off, negative frequencies on the daily with every function you use, whether you listen to music, whether you talk on the phone, or even if you watch a movie or anything like that. All of the functionalities that this phone has had, it's been designed to basically program the stuff that they put, the stuff that you're breathing in that they basically put out in the chemtrails. It's specifically designed to program that and cause it, or rather, should I say, help it assimilate in your body into a controlled structure to where it basically turns you into an electronic living device. Now, there's a lot more also to talk about as far as the Project Blue Beam. That's right on the screen. That's why you need a blue light filter. Once you use the blue light filter, you can actually, switch to and from to see the difference. And you'll also feel different too when you use the blue light filter as well. Um, I honestly think the headaches people get is actually from looking at that blue hue on the screen for so long. That's what I think that comes from. Um, Other than that, the other thing that to basically line of defense when it comes to this is also anti-radiational stickers for your device. But like, dude, just using a phone in general, it's just not a good thing at all. It really isn't. It's not even good for your health, dude. This, if you would have really, and I'm telling you, like, even the freaking brochure bracket for this, or should I say the manual for the warning and all that stuff, is pretty long. Like, it's pretty long and in small print. And I believe they intentionally make that type of stuff that particularly long and that much that it's very difficult to tell. Now, there's another thing I wanted to mention here, and I just noticed this, but I've never seen or heard anybody talk about this. I got a box of borax, but get this, no ingredients ever, nowhere to be seen on this thing. And I'm wondering, why is that? Why is there no ingredient listings on this box? Like, why? Like, what's up with that? I mean, I admit it works, but it's got to be something to that, right? And I think I know exactly what it is. They don't want nobody They don't want nobody knowing the ingredients of this stuff so they can mass produce it. But you see, a biologist can basically study this and tell you exactly every single component that's in it. So it's not impossible. But you know what? Before I go too far with that, I have not looked up on the internet to see what these ingredients are. But let's be real here. Can you really you can look it up, but would you really be able to trust it? Like, honestly? I mean, they don't have it on the box. So anything you probably like would look up online, how do we not even know if that's the actual recipe for it? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they have it, like, if you buy it in bulk, then they'll tell you. Maybe so. I don't know. But I bought a box of this too, in fact, and neither one of them has the ingredients listed on its no ingredient label. However, I mean, you look at other things, right? And they always have like a nutrient facts, or just just the ingredient listings. If it's food, it's gonna have both the ingredient and the nutrient facts. If it's not food, then it's at least gonna have the ingredients listed on it, right? To let you know exactly what's in it. This doesn't have that at all. It works, but it just doesn't have that ingredient list at all. It just doesn't. And I find that very questionable. I really do. Anyway, let's see. Smartphone Faraday cage shield. I don't even know if that even is legit or not. I really, because if it's got like a flap that opens, that's not really helpful. But the best way to test it out, like, is to you put it on there. You can leave the phone on, but you can just like call it. If you get if your phone is ringing, it's that product is trash. If you use some type of RFID fabric and your phone is still ringing even after using that RFID fabric, It's not real RFID fabric. It's trash. It's just junk. And, you know, that's where it comes to a lot of the scams that are out there. So you got to be careful about that too. But then again, it could be the fact that it may not be well covered, you know, well covered. Here's one way to basically block your phone from picking up a frequency or you know, or anything like that. You know those chip bags? How they have that like aluminum based coloring on them? Like they're like if you open them up, they're like all the whole thing's still plastic like, but like if you were to like open a you know, a bag of chips and you look in there, that can block a signal. Um, as far as any other method, as far as this is concerned, I don't know. But once you see towards the end of that video of Jeff Censored's channel, you're gonna know why I'm mentioning all of this. Because dude, they're getting a lot worse with this. A whole lot worse. Um, I knew some stuff was going on, but I just wanted to take a break. And, you know, you could even tell he's getting tired of this crap from happening. When you could hear it in his voice that he's getting tired. Like, it's always something else with these damn, these damn terrorists, man. It's always something else. These domestic terrorists keep coming up with more and more stuff that basically cause a lot of confusion. I mean that for people who don't know what's going on and a lot of other stuff, man. Now is the time to be away from a lot of the sheeple, dude. Try to wake up as many people as you can, but you don't want to be caught. You know, you don't want to be caught up in a system to where people are just fully bought into this mess, or they're just fully programmed into it. And you know, it's just as a prime example, the dude who didn't want to wear the mask when he went to the store, went to the grocery store. We've seen plenty of that. You seen how they how all of those idiots were basically just surrounding those guys. You seen how they did that? There's several videos of that. There was one who got into an argument with a woman, and she even threatened to call the police on the dude. People, there's a guy threatened to call the police on me because I was laying down. That's why I was in the city. That was before I left the city my brother lived in. People are losing their damn minds. Seriously. And not in a good way. And what I find, and really stupid, by the way, is they're trying to basically put the whole mental ill agenda, you know, trying to play the whole mental ill card on people who know better and who are not falling for their crap, right? But then at the same time, they're hiring people who are just going along with this, paying them off, and giving them a basically a get out free card. So I'm like, what, dude? What the hell? Like that? If that ain't tyranny, I don't know what is. If that's not domestic terrorism, I don't know what is, man. And that's the problem. We got gullible idiots who are just accepting this money to just do these idiotic stunts that they are asking them to do. They're paying people within the public off to do this stuff, and they are so clueless as to what this whole thing ties into. So anyway, the links will be in the description of this video of both channels of both videos. As far as everything else is concerned, man, the best I can do and say right now for all of you is, just please be as safe as you can. Do what you feel is right for you. But also there's something else I need to basically mention too. I didn't figure it out until I started looking farther into the whole situation with the towers that were burning. Now I may have mentioned this already, but I'll mention it again because there's a point to this. A lot of those towers that were burnt down, the fact, when people were saying, we really need to get rid of the 5G. Here's the problem with this though. Barely anybody who was doing that didn't have the capabilities of telling the difference between the towers. That's what they used against the people so that they can burn down towers that were not 5G. Okay? So they wanted to burn the older, the lower G towers down so that they can basically have an excuse to upgrade. That's what it was. But it didn't matter. It's not going to matter anyway, because, well, as you know, if anything, like, I believe that happened before the president signed that bill for that technology. That's pretty much what happened. But dude, like, this tech is killing plants, it's killing trees, it's doing a lot of damage. And you can't make this stuff up. Like, people have recorded this, man. People have recorded a lot of these situations of where these towers are just causing complete death around this stuff. Even there's even been video recordings of the animals actually attacking these towers because they knew, it's like instinct. Basically, it's instinct. They, sensors are flickering off, letting them know that this thing is a danger to them. But at the same time, they got technology to basically cause animals to freak out. So you got to be mindful of that too. So, to make a long story short, this whole thing's basically structured in a way to where they create a problem, and they rely on panic. They rely on duress. They rely on people in distress. They want people to act out, get aggressive, and be disorganized. They want that to happen because what they'll do is they'll basically exploit that, because you're gonna if you have a group, chances are you're gonna have somebody who's gonna make a mistake here or there. They're watching constantly for those mistakes, and the minute they catch those mistakes, they're basically honing in on those mistakes to use those against the people who are fighting against them, the people who are trying to put an end to this. This is basically, putting a stop to this is as easy as said. It's easier said than done, because you're dealing with people with a lot of money and a lot of power, and it doesn't make it any easier when you have gullible idiots who are just falling through with this, who have absolutely no idea of the magnitude of what they're actually representing. I would never be comfortable, ever, with this world at all if I had kids of my own, because then I would feel bad. I would feel so bad about that, because like, I know someday I'm gonna die, but they would still have, especially with me being a TI, they would have to bear the burden of what I once either, what I once gone through. And it's either that, or they're going to be programmed into the system and, have their souls stolen, not even be able to go to heaven. Make matters worse, groups like both MGTOW and the feminism. I'm sorry, guys. I'm still the MGTOW, but we gotta, this is my message to fellow MGTOWs out there. We all, guys, we gotta be careful, because you best believe they're trying to also use MGTOW for their agenda purposes. This could very well lead into the act of some type of celibacy. There has been some infiltration happening before when it comes to this, but you got to remember, this is the life of a MGTOW is about going your way, not nobody else's. And don't you damn well let them ever convince you otherwise and try to get you to put yourself in a spot you don't want to be in. Don't let nobody butter you up like that. Don't let nobody trick you like that. Don't ever let that happen. This is my warning out to the females out there. The same thing is said, it's going exactly as I mentioned for MGTOW. It's the same thing going for feminism as well. They're using these groups as a method of a diversity in order to push the agenda for depopulation. They don't want people populating, because that makes more people to deal with. To get where that's going, depopulate. It would basically be a hinder in their whole plan if people were to stop having babies and stuff. That you see, it's not men and women that's at fault. It's the freaking government, dude. It's the freaking system. The system implemented this crap, and it covertly did it. It basically was paying people off of the side who lives in the neighborhoods to act this stuff out. You see a lot of this crap, man, that's out there, and I don't even know half the shit that's going on. But some dudes who looked into it mentioned it. How some females would get very what do they call that? Very sensitive about like how they look or about either their appearance or just about their way, anything like that, right? But here's the thing: who the fuck cares what those books think? My question is this: do you love yourself and do you have confidence in yourself? If you do, that's all you need. You don't have to impress or stoop to the level of these paid off narcissistic assholes who are making money and saying just about some of the most disgusting stuff out there in order to just get views and get people to just tune in or get people to listen to their crap. Everything that they probably have to say is mostly negative. However, one thing needs to be understood: people are just going to have their taste in this life. Same thing goes for women, same thing goes for men. We have our taste in this life. We have the stuff that we are into, we have the stuff that we are not into. When it comes to that, everybody has to come to an understanding on that. Everybody does. Because you can't, the same thing, what I'm about to say right now, the same thing can be said about any side. You can't just like somebody and then just expect them to like you back. That goes for either a woman or a man. You can't, that's just not how it works. And everybody should know this, that a one-sided relationship is not a healthy relationship. It isn't. It's best for you to be with somebody who actually would appreciate you for you and wants to be with you and nobody else. A person who cheats is not a person who loves you, okay? Because first off, technically, if you love someone, you wouldn't want to hurt them, right? So why in the hell would somebody cheat knowing full well that it doesn't matter whether you take you're just taking a risk, and every step of the way you're hoping they don't find out. The fact that you did it, the fact that you still took the risk, shows that you have lack of respect for the one you're with. And the whole concept of boyfriend and girlfriend, I'm going to go ahead and clarify that right now. The concept of boyfriend and girlfriend, I know I've talked about this before, but it's important that I talk about it now because people are still going with this method. Folks, the whole concept of boyfriend and girlfriend is what kids use when, because they couldn't, a girl couldn't call a boy her man because she was too young. She's way too young to ever try to understand something like that. They're not they're not old enough to really be able to do that. So the same thing goes with the boy. He can't say that that's, my woman because, well, she hasn't even, not only has she not developed into a woman, he still hasn't matured enough and isn't even old enough to understand what it means, to actually be with a woman. You got to go through puberty, you got to grow up, and you got to go through the stages before you even are ready to go through that phase. So as adults, if we are dating somebody, you're supposed to say that, for the ladies, you're supposed to say that that's your man. For the fellas, you're supposed to say that that's my woman. Basically, that's how it goes. Pretty much, you look out for her, she looks out for you, and it's supposed to be to the point to where you both care for one another. It isn't no selfishness. It isn't to where someone basically gets themselves in a state of being sick and then you just don't want to deal with. No, that's not how that works. It is not how it works. And you best believe that one of my exes was like that. I got sick, but she didn't even give a crap, man. She really, uh, dude. And if it wasn't that, it was like super mixed. It was super mixed. So it's a complicated thing to talk about, but that's basically something I long since moved on. But it makes this a good example. Now then, the other problem is the fact that the sexual transmitted diseases. Now, where did that come from? That came from the system. The same beast system that has been experimented on the human population for years. That's where that came from. And it doesn't matter which one it is, because all of all of that junk came from these bastard scientists who basically created it. That's exactly where that crap came from. We have a plague of individuals, not a lot, but enough to where it does make it a problem, of people who are getting off from spreading this stuff around purposely. I have seen some of the most disgusting messages about this stuff as far as graffiti and just about anything else. People who just absolutely don't care. There's plenty of stories on the net about this. People saying that, they just went around town sleeping with as many. There was even a female who said this, that she had a sexual transmitted disease, and she slept around with like over 20 guys to purposely spread it. Dude, that was enough to get the police at her door. She lied, but can you just imagine that? Can you imagine something like that actually happening? And here's the other problem. It isn't just the females, it's the guys too. It's both sides. We have people who are dudes purposely doing this junk, and we got people who are females purposely doing this junk. It's both sides. There is no war amongst the races. There's just a war amongst domestic terrorists towards decent, hardworking individuals who just want to just work for something that they can basically enjoy at the end of their life. That they can, when they get to the point where they can't work anymore, they can just relax. They can just have something to lean on. To basically just count the days with the one they love, or the one they basically decided to share their life with. That's it. Nobody wants to constantly be working all their life. No one wants that. You want to just be able to put in the work that's necessary, and if so, create your own business. But you want to know something? The system fucks with everything. It fucks with everything, and it doesn't care about how you feel. It doesn't care about what you want. It only cares about itself and its own self-sustainability. Even if it means destroying many lives, it does not care. It doesn't stop. It has no feelings, and it has absolutely no type of care in this world of who is disposed of as a result. And what I mean by this is basically the bastards who are responsible for implementing this system look at citizens as cattle. Nothing more than test subjects. Nothing more than lab rats. That's the harsh reality. We have idiots who are working for the system that views them the same way that they view us. The only difference is we're the ones being targeted by this crap. That's the only damn difference about it. We're the ones being targeted by this, and they are still viewed the same way, but they still help implement a system, not even thinking about the fact that this system could sometime go after their own kin. They don't think about. Do they? I sometimes wonder. Do they ever think about that? And then that's when I came to the realization, because I noticed this shit. The people they recruit, they purposely have been lacing them with this nanotech. I've caught them doing it several times, and they even willingly showed me this, dude. One time when I was on the bus, they were hitting this woman who was in a blue shirt with these frequencies. I couldn't help but not notice, but I made damn certain I told her what the name of my channel was to help her. I couldn't have a direct conversation with her because I don't know what the heck they were planning on doing with that. That's a very unstable situation, and you got to be very careful, because the outcome could be who knows what the outcome could be. So, to the people who have not been gang stalked, to the people who have not been undergoing any of these type of harassment, and I'm about to be in the next, either tonight or first thing tomorrow, I'm gonna be uploading some videos, because I've already done the siphoning through my evidence. I've already looked through a lot of the footage, and I'm gonna have a compilation video for you guys first thing either tonight or tomorrow. It's gonna show you exactly some of the stuff that I've caught with these glasses. Not just the that video you saw before with the guy who basically tried to call the cops on me because I was laying down. There's more footage than, there's a whole lot more footage than that. A whole lot more. But basically this is it. I don't even care. My family might even be watching this too. This is my warning to everybody. And listen up, listen and listen good. These people who they send out to do this crap, Do not ever involve yourself with people like this. Don't. I have witnessed them moving and basically lacing down stuff with this technology. I have witnessed this with my own two eyes with them doing it. I've seen them lacing down doorknobs. I've seen them lacing down surfaces. And I've actually proved it too because they laced a jar of salsa once before. They had this this heavy set looking woman do it, and they were listening in the entire time. I said basically I was being obnoxious with it too. I'm saying, you know what? They definitely laced this crap, so I'm dumping it in the trash and I am not eating this junk. Guess what happened? One of the bastard neighbors who was involved came out of his apartment, slammed the door, and went straight down the steps out of the elevator. He was pissed because I wouldn't eat that shit. There's been other stunts to where they try poisoning me, and apparently they get some type of payoff if this whole operation that goes on is successful. Be mindful of the people who are basically just blatantly staring at you while you're basically picking out some groceries, because those people probably are trying to poison you. This can involve either through a handshake or anything like that. It doesn't have to necessarily be that. It could be even them handing you off an object of some sort, and that still happens. So you got to ask yourself, the same people who are basically trying to butter you up, showing up saying, hey, you see this, you see that, or whatever, right? Have they ever made actual physical contact with you in any way at all? And if so, how do you not know that they didn't try to poison you too? The same people they tell you not to trust, in reality, it's the reverse. It's the people telling you not to trust someone else that can't be trusted, because they're the ones who just want to be able to get away with the tyranny they've been doing. This is my message to people who are not being gang stalked. If someone approaches you with something like this, you better be able to actually double question this crap. Question everything, and don't just take everything at face value. Don't. We are no longer in it. We have long since been out of the 21st century, okay? This is not the 21st century anymore. You can't have that kind of mindset thinking that everything is just as simple as it's ever been. No, nothing has never been simple. Everything that you have come to know has nothing been more than all for show. It's just been out there as a complete psyop to prevent you from ever asking questions, to prevent you from ever trying to figure out everything that's going on, to prevent you from ever actually having to be able to wonder what's going on. They don't want you questioning everything. They don't want you asking questions. Why? Because they know exactly what they're doing, and they know what they're doing is wrong. That's just all it is in a nutshell. When a person comes at me like that, saying, "Oh, don't ask questions about this, don't ask questions about that," I'm already done talking to you. I'm already done, because there's absolutely nothing else you can tell me that would convince me that you're not involved with the system. There's nothing. That's just a done deal for me. So anyway, I'm basically not finna go any longer with this video. It's like around 6:39 p.m. It's about to be quite late, actually. Check out this time. Okay, awesome. Sometimes I do forget to push that thing whenever I record, so I had to definitely double check that. I'm actually grateful that this did work out. But this is just to give you an example of this, but at the same time, as I'm showing you guys this, I'm only showing you this as an just so you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not telling you to shop at Amazon in any way. If you saw the video on Mischievous M, then you know why I warned people about Amazon. And yeah, that but like it doesn't matter even if it's them. Like, the whole mailing system is rigged, dude. The whole mailing system is rigged. Everything's rigged. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. Remember, the links that you to those videos, to do those channels, will be in the description. I send both my love and my prayers out to all of you, and hoping you all are doing as best as you can. And as always, minus the targeting. Stay safe out there, and always stay strong.